Mahmoud Mohammed Isa Mohammed lived in Canada peacefully for 26 years without committing a single crime. But Canada's immigration minister sanctioned Isa Mohammed's deportation from Canada this week, accusing him of involvement in an operation in 1968 against an Israeli airliner. The incident in question involved a plane full of many former members of the Israeli military. It came just 1 year after Israel had brutally seized much of Palestine, Egypt and Syria in the so-called Six-Day War.
You went to defend yourself. Now in Palestine, at that time, it has been, a martial law. I mean, so started these groups outside, armed groups, armed resistance against Israel. Such operation and in a certain, especially in the 60s and 70s. But later on, even to forget about 60s and 70s, because it's the same form of violence has been practiced by the State of Israel since the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and nowadays.
Critics accuse Israeli-controlled politicians, such as Canada's immigration minister Jason Kenney, of desperately attempting to manufacture a perception of a terrorist threat, when such a threat doesn't actually exist in the country, so the government can justify using Canadian tax money and military power to advance Israeli geopolitical goals. Canada's immigration minister stands accused of using Canada's immigration law as a weapon to eradicate any potential threats to Israeli hegemony in Canada. In 2009, Kenney unlawfully barred pro-Palestinian British MP George Galloway from Canada, seemingly to prevent Canadians from hearing Galloway's analysis of geopolitics.
The government is found to have bent the laws of Canada in pursuit of their weird, it's the only word for it, weird and bizarre and virtually unique in the world attempt to criminalize support for the Palestinian people.
I mean, if you are in a war, there is rules of war applying. But when it comes for Palestinian, when he's trying to defend himself, then that description is there. He's a terrorist. Even if he's defending his kids, he's a terrorist. When that Israeli pilot pressing the button, killing 100 of civilians, no, he's defending the state of Israel.
Even though the Greek courts overturned any convictions Isa Mohammed had for his alleged involvement in the 1968 operation, Jason Kenney repeatedly told the Canadian public that the stateless Palestinian was a, quote, convicted terrorist, presumably to curry favor with Israel's well-heeled supporters in Canada. Joshua Blakeney, Press TV, Calgary.